So, Democrats descended on Iowa yesterday for the caucus, and things didn't go, according to plan. There was a glitch in an app which was supposed to tally results, and it still got us waiting to see who won. And, of course, the candidates have all said they won. Take a look.
So we don't know all the results. By all indications, we are going on to New Hampshire victorious.
When those results are announced, I have a good feeling we're going to be doing very, very well here in Iowa.
I'm ready to give him a new nickname, the former President Trump.
Our union will be stronger than ever when that one man is replaced by one very persistent woman.
And let's head to New Hampshire. Thank you, Iowa.
So given all the chaos surrounding this, I mean, it doesn't really matter who ends up winning. Will Iowa be able to recover from this? Of course they will, because this is not the first time this has happened. The Republicans went through had a bit of a problem also. But, of course, who doesn't know his history had no idea that this is not the first time this has happened. But, Mayor Pete's coming here. He's going to be here next week, I believe.
I think this Thursday.
Thursday. Thursday.
Oh, this Thursday.
Tomorrow.
Oh, I thought it was next week.
No.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Brian. But no matter what, I mean, what do you think? These things happen, and you know how much I love an app.
These things do happen in the sense that Iowa has a clumsy history of getting, like, Rick Santorum ended up winning and it was declared Mitt Romney in 2012. But what they don't normally do is have no results at all. I have to say, last night I was waiting, like everyone, at 9 o'clock with my husband, waiting for things to come in. And then it was 10 o'clock and it was 11 o'clock and I was like, I got a show tomorrow. I got to go to bed. Like, I don't know what's going on. And this is a disaster, and Iowa should completely remove themselves from the caucus in general and turn into a primary next election cycle, because they clearly can't handle the responsibility and the gravity of this. All the staffers and politicians who have gone to Iowa and spent millions of dollars, left their families, campaigned, gone to this state because they believe in the first-in-the-nation caucus status, to have this happen, it's a load of garbage, and I'm done with it. And I'm completely done with it, and I think that it does a total disservice to all the candidates who have campaigned so hard. And now the person who benefits the most is Bloomberg, because he's removed himself from the early state primary process.
It seems that everybody won last night except Jimmy Carter.
I know.
That's number one.
Winning.
Number two, why are they doing it in a red state? It's a Democratic Party. Why don't they go to a blue state and do it? And mostly white
state
people,
voters,
young white people
Democrats
are voting in Iowa. That's not an indication of the Democratic Party, so that was a mistake. I agree with you. Iowa should not be doing it. Although I love Iowa, I've been there. It's a lovely place, and the people are very nice, but I don't agree with this particular thing.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I thought was, maybe this is a good thing, because we need to go back to paper ballots.
Yes.
And get out of the technology business.
But they had paper ballots.
It worked for George Washington. It'll work for us.
But it's not just paper ballots. People raise their hands. It's very clumsy. Like, people go to gymnasiums and raise their hands, and like it's very
just go and vote.
Yeah, and the apps went down. I've said it from the very beginning that Iowa, just isn't representative of the Democratic tent, and that's the problem that I've had. I mean, it's if you look at the population, it's about 90.7% white, and just 4% of Iowa's population is black. But the problem also that I have, and bear with me, blacks make up 26% of the state's prison population, and there was a study by the Sentencing Project that ranked Iowa third worst in the nation for its 1 in 17 incarceration rate of adult black males. And then on top of it, Iowa is the only state in our union with a lifetime voting ban for people with a felony conviction, which means the 4% of black people in Iowa, thousands of black Iowa residents who served time, were barred from even caucusing. So it just seems to me, if the Democratic nominee can't win without the 30, in 30 years, a Democratic nominee without black support can't win, why the heck are we, as Democrats, or people, in Iowa? It just doesn't make any kind of sense.
Well, so because the thinking was, when it was basically all white people voting, was that it was fine. But it doesn't represent what the real nation looks like.
I think the candidates going forward will not spend not even about my dad, but he completely surpassed going to Iowa in 2000 and 2008 because he didn't believe in the caucus, and I still don't. I mean, up to last night, I respected it.
Yeah.
But I do think the idea of just going a group of people holding your hands, and then if your vote doesn't count, you have to give it to another candidate.
Yeah.
I think it's completely archaic and backward. The number one takeaway, other than it's a total cluster, is that there was a huge low voter turnout in it. It's this exact same as in 2016. There should be more momentum with voters going forward,
say
and
that's good for Biden because everybody knows Biden,
But it's
and they
not
don't
good
have
in
to
the
go and
general.
talk about him, and they're happy with Biden. That's good for him. That's
But it's
what I
not good
heard.
in a general election.
And as you said, Bloomberg.
Well, if there's no black people, you know, that's part of the reason, like,
Yeah, that
why
could be
there's
it, too.
low voter turnout.
Yeah.
And also for Biden, there was,
know,
they're
yeah.
not
Yeah.
there.
But
On to New Hampshire.
hard rap?
Let's all
Okay.
be done with the caucus
Another
from here on
white
out.
state, another white Republican state is New
It
Hampshire.
is not Republican. New Hampshire is extremely independent. Extremely.
But the other thing
And
is,
it's a
Didn't it go for
primary,
Trump?
it's
It
not
went
a
for Trump in
caucus.
2016, I believe.
and the problem with New Hampshire
check
also is
that.
just 1% of the delegates needed.
But then
Just
you go to
1%
South Carolina,
in the
and it's
electoral
huge.
college.
Then that's when Biden is going to shine, and that's when we'll see Biden in America.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen, but we know what has to change. Okay,
Yeah.
stuff needs to change
Everyone's over the
because
top.
it's not working the way that it should. And after everything we saw with Stacey Abrams, we should be really careful about how we do all of
The worst part,
this.
too, is that it makes voters distrust our process.
Yes,
and
it
that, to me,
does.
is the worst part of this whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah, I heard that
Yeah.
the Trump Jr. and his brother was saying that you have to watch the Democrats in November because they'll be cheating. I mean, come on, look in the mirror, you two.
Yeah.
Two cretins.
Yeah. But, you know,
Give me a break.
They said that?
yeah.
Yes.
But look at the source. Check the source.